2, 3. Hey guys, welcome. We're going to go over continuous glucose monitoring. I always say if there's one thing we could do in this country to change the health status, we could reverse or prevent 90% of chronic conditions out there. And the glucose monitoring is something we've been doing for years with patients. Finger prick, poke your finger 3, 4, 5, 8 times a day. Figure out why it's going up, why it's going down. But now we have access to amazing technology. It's called a continuous glucose monitor. And so today we decided to do basically an unboxing. So Dr. Jake and Becca are going to walk us through that process. And so every new patient that we work with get this continuous glucose monitor. For 3 months, we're able to track every 5 minutes. It shoots data over to your phone, exactly telling us where that blood sugar is going up too high, going down too low. You learn things that are amazing to find out exactly what food is causing that problem. Remember, blood sugar going up, inflammation, elevated insulin resistance, prediabetes, metabolic syndrome, all these things. Blood sugar going down, number one stressor to the adrenal glands. It's going to rev that up. And if you've got autoimmune, this is one of the main reasons why we brought this in originally for people with autoimmune. If that blood sugar is spiking up, crashing down, it is going to cause major issues. Hey Doris, good to see you. So pop down below where you guys are watching from. Let me know if you've done any blood sugar monitoring. If you're one of our patients, let people know what it tells you. And if you have done some, put it down below. Let us know where you're watching from and any questions you have. So guys, come on over and we are going to, I'll turn it a little bit here. Again, this is Becca and Dr. Jake.
Hello. So CGMs, we use Signos. This is the company that we've partnered with. And this is the special little box that you will receive whenever you get your continuous glucose monitor. So opening it right up, they give you a whole box of goodies. So very first thing you're going to get is going to be your sensors. So there are going to be 3 sensors in one box, and you will receive 9 of them. So that's the first thing. Second thing is a transmitter. So a transmitter comes in this little bitty box. It's about this big, which I'll show you here in just a second. Next is going to be alcohol swabs. So they'll give you enough that you need for this entire time. And then also some extra little patches to put over. These are, you don't have to use the entire time. You'll use it if you work out a whole bunch, you sweat, you swim, anything like that. So going right into it, Dr. Jake has already set up his app. So you'll download the Dexcom G6 app, and that is ready to go. Now to open up this bad boy.
She always cuts her finger on this one. So.
And then we'll also get his transmitter ready to go. So here we have a sensor. These sensors are disposable. So after you put them on for 10 days, it's going to be a little patch, which we'll show you here in just a second. You will wear that for a 10-day span. Now, this is a little transmitter. So you can see it's really tiny here. You're going to keep this for the entire 3 months, so you will never throw this away. So starting out, we're going to pick the area that he wants the glucose monitor on. So you can put it on your arm.
This way. So the common place most people do it is going to be right at the tricep here. The other is on the abdomen. They can put it down so if some people don't want it, or they're going to be in a wedding or whatever, or if Dr. Jake wears a lot of tank tops and he doesn't want that to show, you can do it on your abdomen as well. So there we go.
Okay, perfect. So we've cleaned the area with an alcohol swab. Wait a couple seconds for it to dry. Then we're going to open up this guy. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of see.
There we go.
So
this is the applicator. So that whole thing doesn't go on you. It just holds the little sticker, and then when you hit the button, it attaches, and then that stays on there. So you'll see it's not much at all on the skin.
Right. So we're going to peel these little stickers off. One of the stickers, the top one, has an ID on it, so you want to keep this because you'll need it for rock it back and forth just to make sure it adheres really well. There is a security tab which will break off. Now don't scream. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of pressure. 1, 2, 3. Goes in just like that.
And what do you think, Doc? I barely feel.
Just feels like someone flicks it.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a tiny little sensor wire that goes into the skin. Maybe that big on there. You don't even feel it. You just feel the adhesive on there.
So we're gonna put in the transmitter right in the center. It clicks. He's ready to go. So you can. Okay, so we're just gonna peel this off. Dr. Walden works out a bunch, so just to make sure it stays on as it should, we'll just add on a little bit extra protection.
And so if you have a hot tub, if you go swimming at all, anything like that, it's definitely worth it to put this on. Some people they say that it's fine even without that, but definitely worth it to have that on there as well. And that is it.
Just
So
like
from there, you have the app that will it will give that feedback to the phone, so then we're able to see it. And the great part is our metabolic coordinators, our doctors are able to see that data as well, and we can walk you through that process. We have some questions on here. Let me jump back to some of these. Hey, Lucy there in South Africa, Joe in New Jersey, and Hendersonville. Christine, great to see you. Doris, eye-opening, the foods that I found out that spiked my blood sugar. Yeah, so Doris, she has been monitoring for probably a year and a half now.
Yeah.
It's quite a while. So, it's great what we're able to learn. Panama City Beach. Julie Miller on Who's Dime. Not sure what that is about. Nicole, how can I get this device? So again, every new patient that we start care with, they get this device. What are you feeling, Doc, as you're standing there? Anything now? Nothing. Yeah. I mean, after a couple minutes, your body just forgets it's even there with that sticker. And again, you can work out. You can do push-ups and dips and run and swim and all types of things. So again, everybody that we start care with, we are able to get this for them, and it's a 3-month supply. How long does that transmitter last? So the transmitter is a 3-month transmitter. The actual the sticker, those are every 10 days you change that out. And there is, again, it is technology that sometimes it takes a day or two to calibrate, but this Dexcom G6, this is the gold standard for diabetes, for type 1 diabetics that are doing insulin and all types of things. Doc, you want to give a couple little stories about some things that people have found as far as blood sugar, like, oh wow, I didn't know that would spike it, or
oh yeah, I mean, so we have random things. I had a patient just this last week. She found out that Brussels sprouts and asparagus spiked her up to almost 200, and she was just, it actually spiked her higher than rice or quinoa or something did, and she had no idea, and that was like one of her staples that she thought was being really, really healthy.
So for those of you kids out there that do not like Brussels sprouts, this is your time.
And then we have really random ones. I have one lady, she can do just about any grain, and it doesn't really spike her at all. Her body responds really, really well to it. And she's not really working with an autoimmune condition, so we're not worried about any of those type of inflammatory factors either. So she's actually kind of a lucky one. And then I have a person that's been on a keto diet for 3 years now. They lost an initial amount of weight, and then they kind of got back up, and then they just plateaued. They can't do anything else. And I said, well, let's just try this out. Let's see what it says. They were able to introduce way more back into their diet. They dropped their weight back down. And now they're not as restricted because they start knowing how their specific body's reacting. So that one's the awesome one.
That's what I love to hear. People are like, oh, just one more thing to take out foods. And it's not even just take out foods. It's, hey, what can you actually add back in? Becca, you've heard stories too about people in fruit. And like, I didn't think I could eat bananas, but then they can eat bananas. What else have you heard on some of the stories from patients?
Mine personally, I wasn't able to eat bell peppers. If I had bell peppers, we had that whole TikTok trend. So you have bell peppers, cream cheese, the whole 9 yards. But if I had it without any protein or avocado, I would spike. So I had that for a few weeks and ended up not being able to do that without having any type of fat or protein.
Nicole, 3 months, they said. Yeah, so Signos, if you go through Signos, Levels, any of these other companies, I think Levels has 150,000 people on their wait list. They're another one of the CGM companies out there. And Signos is delayed. But we have instant access. So what do people get in 5 days or so?
5 to 7.
5 to 7 days. So yes, we have inside scoop. What is the device, Kelly? So it is a Dexcom G6. So if you look up, I can't see it that great too much on the light. There we go. So Dexcom G6, it's the gold standard in continuous glucose monitoring. There are a couple other brands out there, but you have to put your phone up next to it. And this is the one that is going to, so Dr. Jake here, he's going to be getting that information. If you've got a smartwatch, you can send it to your watch as well and just see where you're at all the time. We had a type 1 diabetic in last week, and he's able to just see, oh, I'm at 92 or whatever he's at. So it is a Dexcom G6. Explain the cost of you have no insurance, please. Yes, so this is included. Here's the thing, it's crazy. I don't know if you've had any patients say this, but if you have a type 1 diabetic and they're getting a Dexcom G6 through insurance, it's like $1,500 per month that they're paying. I mean, they're billing, but it's the same thing with our blood work. You know, what's our blood work? $200.
Yeah,
$260. And that same panel, it's with the poor lady, $2,900.
Yeah, close to $3,000.
Close to $3,000 for that same blood panel. So it's crazy what insurances charge, how much markup there is, all these different things. So here's the deal. It's included in care. Anybody that starts care with us, no matter whether you're a local patient to the Colorado or Tennessee offices, or you're a remote patient, virtual patient anywhere in the country, we can get you this device, and it's included in that program. So we have a lot of ways to make that as doable as possible on the financial side. Grace, how much if you have no insurance and on very limited income? Yeah, so Grace, it all depends on what you have going on. And this is the great part about what we do at F8 here is we're going to individualize it specifically for you. And if you have brain issues going on and you need some support after we look at the brain map and need neurofeedback, we'll be talking about that. If not, we won't be talking about that. If you only have a couple systems to work on versus 12 systems, that's going to play a role into all of those things. But drop us a DM down below, and we'll get you in touch with one of our new patient coordinators, and they can walk you through that process. Rachel, great to see you. Excited to be down in your neck of the woods. Rachel down in Highlands Ranch. We're going to be opening Highlands Ranch in the next, did you hear back?
3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks. We're getting close. That lease is signed. Everything's ready to go now. They're just doing the flooring and a couple different things. So we're excited to get that done. And Sharon, good to see you. Love my Dexcom G6. The app will not work with a Motorola phone. It's only compatible with a Samsung phone or iPhone. Yep. So for whatever reason, the technology, they've had this out for 2 or 3 years, and so I guess they just figured there's not too many Motorola phones out there anymore, or not. But Sharon's been using that. Yep, awesome. So here's the deal, guys. Blood sugar is one of the foundational tools in fixing somebody's health. And this is something that we have seen time and time again with that. Just physiologically, blood sugar spikes, crashes, inflammation. What's one of the first things, Doc, if you see the inflammation in the body? What's one of the first thoughts you're having is, hey, we gotta
uncontrolled blood sugar.
Yeah, we gotta check that.
CRP goes high, ferritin goes out of whack. It messes with a lot.
This is what we talk about all the time. If we could only run one blood work marker, it would be ferritin. Ferritin is that stored iron. If ferritin is high, we're going to see that there's also that CRP and triglycerides and insulin resistance and all of these different things going on in there. So if you have inflammation, you've got to start figuring out what your blood sugar is doing. Let's see, Lorraine, great to see you. And the finger prick, I'm doing the finger prick and having issues getting testing strips. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the finger prick's great. We were able to reverse diabetes, all types of different things with that. But this is just a whole nother level as well. Did it come online yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it's still warming up. Yeah, it takes a little bit to warm up, but after that, you know, then you can turn it to the side, see what's been going on for the last 24 hours. Just tons and tons of data. One of the best things that we found. So, you know, if you're not checking your blood sugar, you've got to start monitoring your glucose. This is really, if I could predict the future, I would do that right now and say within 5 years, a high majority of offices around the country that are going to be doing this exact thing that we're doing now. So love having you guys on. If you've got any questions at all, pop those down below and let us know if you've been tracking your blood sugar and anything else that you've got as far as questions go. So all right, guys, take care. Thanks for jumping on.